People in the audience right now that are saying, why didn't he ask this or that? You can't hit everything, but we've tried to broadly hit a few areas to talk, to see how you think, what your philosophy is, and how you would speak and represent us in Congress. Thank you all three. We would ask you now to take a minute or two and give us your closing pitch on why you should be the candidate for Congress for us. And then Chairman Parrott will take it back over. Could we start with Rodney Davis?
I thought we were going to sing.
Well, we're going to let you start.
Everybody ready?
This is American Idol. We're going to vote us off one by one. It'll be very quick.
I want to run for Congress because I can't sing and I can't make it on American Idol. And I wouldn't even put myself out there. But I think all of us agree. We need changes in Washington. We need leaders with courage to stand up and fight for what we know as Americans is the right thing to do. Fight the Democrats and stand up to the Republicans when they're wrong. That's what America needs. We've all talked about cutting our national debt. We've all talked about cutting spending. You need somebody to represent you in Washington that can immediately hit the ground running, have the smallest learning curve on this campaign. This campaign is going to be 5 months long. Your candidate, our candidate, the guy who's going to keep this seat in Republican hands and keep Nancy Pelosi out of the speaker's chair, or lady, I didn't mean to say guy.
I can hold it against you. There you go.
Thank you. Got to be politically correct sometimes. What we've got to make sure of is we've got a candidate that can immediately stand toe-to-toe with David Gill on all the issues, from agriculture to EPA to dealing with landfill issues like they're dealing with in DeWitt County. I'm ready to fight David Gill. I'm ready to fight Nancy Pelosi. I'm ready to fight the millions of dollars that are going to come into this state to regain this district for the Democrats. It's a 5-month campaign. And I think all of you hopefully will agree with me that we're ready to go. If I'm selected on Saturday, we'll put together a campaign team that's second to none, and we'll immediately start campaigning the minute that you select me. I look forward to earning all your support with all the sheets tonight. My name is Rodney Davis. I forgot. I want to address your issues. I want to address the problems that are affecting this district, and I want to help by serving all of you in Washington, and I want to become that leader that all of you can be proud of. Thank you.
I think this election is about a couple things. It's about enthusiasm, and it's about inspiring people to believe that their voice counts. When I've spoken to people in the 13th District, there's almost a cynicism, a sense of being jaded, a sense of we've heard these promises before, it seems like it's so out of control, the debt is so high, how can any one person begin to address these issues? What I think I could bring is a youthful approach to these issues. I want to inspire young people my age to believe that the political system is worth participating in. I want them to realize that there's something important about being engaged in this process. There's something humbling about being engaged in this process because you become well aware that you don't have all the ideas and all the solutions and that you need the help and support of a team to be able to do this. But I want to be able to be somebody who goes out and says, I don't look like the normal Republican. I may not look like the stereotype, but the Republican Party has embraced me and they will embrace you. What we're going to be trying to do is to expand that team of people who believe like us, who think like us, and who care about this country. And that's what I would want to do, not just in how I frame the ideas, but show them that I'm somebody who's different, but as part of this party, your ideas and your differences of opinion would be respected and would be included. And I think that I could bring that energy and that illustration of being a non-stereotypical Republican and say, this is what our party's about, the new Republican Party, come join us.
As I said earlier, I'm an occupational therapist by background. And what does that mean? It means I'm used to doing rehab. I'm used to going, because when you're an occupational therapist, you look at a person and you say, I want to get you to an independent function. I want you to be independently as possible. Right now our country has been in the ER. It has. And now we're kind of coming out of the ER, and people are stumbling because they don't have those ideas of how to get the engine going again. And they've tried many things, and a lot of it has been from the government, and it's not working. My small business, my business owner experience is going to be well deserved in Washington, because I can go up there and say, you know what, I know how to create a job. I know how to look at these things. I know what it takes. And I don't have to go, I will go and talk with many other business leaders, and I'm going to have councils, and I'm going to have people from the districts. My thought is that we have people, because I'm not an I person, I'm a we person. This is a lot of I stuff here, and I'm not really comfortable with that. I want to hear from you. I want to hear from each and every one, which I have been hearing as we go through these different American Idol type town halls. I've heard people come up to me and go, your message is resonating. I get you, because you know what? You're just like me. You're a person getting up in the morning, like I said before, and you're a person that hasn't got. No, we know I don't have the political curve, but guess what? I can learn fast, and I have those tools, and to know how to work and get things done. And I think there's another guy named Bobby Schilling that has half this district. Bobby Schilling was just a pizza owner. He was not a political person very long at all. He had not run for office before. So my point is, he's been successful. You don't have to have all those tools to go to Washington. You have to be able to have the fortitude and the strength, because here's what's really most important. Here's what you guys care most about. No button. When you hit the no button, that's what you care most about. Because at the end of the day, we get tired of sending people to Washington, and then all of a sudden we're like, hey, can you vote no on that? Or, or if it's a yes, if it's a good bill, can you vote yes on that? And we don't hear anything. So I know that we have to have tools. I'm ready for this job. I also can start that Sunday. I'll be there Sunday. You're going to be Monday, Rodney? I'm here Sunday. And I have an office. I've got a staff. I've got a fundraising coordinator. Locally, we've identified a national one. We've identified media. I understand how to run campaigns. I helped run numerous campaigns. Sam McLean, Bobby Schilling, Wayne Rosenthal. These are people you may not know. If you don't know who Sam McLean was, he was a man who ran against and won a 38-year incumbent legacy name. Now, they beat them. $700,000 is what Sam McLean spent. DeMuzio spent $3 million. It was the most expensive campaign in that cycle and in the state of Illinois history. Why? Because they had one thing that was lacking, the DeMuzios did. They didn't have the grassroots support. They didn't have those ground troops. So I bring a dimension to this race that nobody else has, is that grassroots, they are fired up and they're ready to go. Why are they fired up and ready to go? Because they're saying, finally, somebody step forward who doesn't have to have a political career in the future, who hasn't been up there for a long time, and say, hey, you're just like me. Let's go see what somebody just like you goes to Washington. What's that going to be like? I can tell you what it's going to be like. It's going to be, I'm going to go there and work with everybody. That's what I do. I work with contracts every day. I work with superintendents. Remember I told you about all those contracts I have, those schools? I have to negotiate with parents every day about their children's services. I understand negotiation. I understand all of that. So I am ready to go as well-heeled as any of these other candidates up here. I quite frankly better, because I have two more things. Talking about bringing people together, here's two things. One, there's a lot of people talking about third parties out there. Well, I shared this with Chairman on 2 weeks ago. I got a letter from the Constitution Party, and they said, I was quite shocked, quite frankly, because I really don't know those people. And they said, here's a letter that we, in writing, that we will not put a third-party candidate into this 13th race if Kathy Wasik is the candidate, because we believe that her principles and values, because we also believe that politics is put aside and we are looking at principles. And they said, I called them, I'm like, oh my gosh, I don't have any strings here or anything. Like, no, we don't want strings. We want to bridge the Republican Party, but we don't want to be the Republican Party. So I just took out a whole third-party option if my name was on that ballot. Now let's think about that for 1 second. You have some disgruntled people on both sides of the aisle. All of a sudden they're going to go in the ballot box. And they say, hey, guess what? I'm going to check the Constitutional Party because I'm fed up with everybody else. I don't want that to happen. I want to preserve the Republican Party. And lastly, I have teachers who are already calling me, and teachers unions, how can we help you? Because we know you and we want to support you. And here's what they said finally. guess what? We've been praying for somebody like you to show up. So thank you very much. My name is Kathy Wassink, and I hope to have be your congressman. Thank you.
There's only one thing that won't be good for me. There's only one thing that won't be good for me next week, and that is that of the 4 terrific candidates we have, 3 of you won't be the candidate. I really hope that you will run for something again, because all 4 of you are outstanding people and bode well for the future of our party. Chairman Curry.